Markle might be really starting to devolve publicly as her and Harry go their separate ways professionally. Seems like Meghan Markle is really floundering as her Hollywood dreams really appear to be going up in smokes, to such an extent that she made an impromptu and rather bizarre appearance at the LA Children's Hospital Gala, where she strangely clutched to her friend's hand, even pulling it to her crotch as if it was her husband's hand, and how they cling to each other on the red carpet. She also talked about how treatment at Children's Hospital is otherworldly, a little strange, and she left very quickly after getting there. Pretty much, she did a bit on the red carpet, a bit inside, and then she completely left. It was so strange, and I think it comes all down to this thing that Meghan Markle really thought she could make it in Hollywood with that royal title. She thought she could just barge in and get anything she wanted, and she did for a bit. But as time goes on and as people figure her out, people are less likely to indulge her. I think Netflix is already out the door. Spotify already basically shut the door in their faces. And I don't think they have much to look forward to in the future. I think she's finding as these big companies bow out, nobody is going to take their place. And so she's trying to, again, do a bit of the royal thing, trying to show that she has the royal magic. However, I would argue that her friend ended up looking much more regal, sane, for quite frankly, and dignified than Meghan Markle did. If she wants to be treated seriously as royalty, Meghan really needs to start acting like royalty. She can't quite figure that out. So we are going to explore this today because one of the things I'm very passionate about with this channel is trying to explain to people what royalty is, because Meghan Markle has very much confused it. She has tried to turn it into celebrity. And as we can see, not only is it not working, even people within the industry can't really take her seriously. And her behavior is really, at the end of the day, damaging the rest of the royal family because people are seeing how she behaves and she thinks that's how the rest of the royals behave, when it definitely, most definitely is not. So we are going to go into this, but if you guys haven't been to Royal News Network before, hello, my name is Brittany. I provide compelling royal commentary. So if you guys want to hit that subscribe button, I would absolutely love to have you back. We keep growing. I kind of have a weird goal of 200,000 by the end of the year, or getting as close to as we can to. No, let's be firm. Let's be firm. And perhaps that will happen, perhaps not, but I have a goal of that. So again, if you guys would like to subscribe, if you like what you do here, this does really, really support. And I also wanted to, again, give a shout out to Ana Lucia Diamonds. I got my studs in today, which are my favorite things ever, because I think studs are so perfect because they go with every outfit. I don't have to change it, especially when I'm traveling. I have a trip upcoming, so I won't really need to change these because, well, they look great. They go with everything. So Ana Lucia has a lot of different sizes in the stud carats. So if you guys are interested, the ones I have are 2 carats. They are lab created diamonds and they're just so classy and elegant. So if you guys see any of, I also have a tennis bracelet ring. So if you guys see any of that flash going around on the video, it is from Ana Lucia. If you guys are interested in checking them out, and feel free to click on the link up above, or I have one down below as well. And if you use code ROYAL20, you shall save 20%. All right, guys. So Meghan Markle's red dress from hell was not what I was expecting to wake up to this morning. I happened to see a video and I was like, oh, she wore that thing again. Ugh. So what I'm talking about, of course, is the hideous, hideous, hideous. There can be no, like, there are so many hideouses that should come with describing this dress. It's really crazy. And I will have an entire video on it on my fashion channel where I will be describing what royals actually look like at galas. And it's not that. It's not that. And I absolutely despise this Carolina Herrera dress that she first wore in 2021. I think it should be burned. I think it is ugly. I think it is poorly constructed. I think it is hideous. And she wore it again. And I'm like, how did you not take it, put it in a garbage can and set it on fire? Because that's what you should have done with this dress. But no, she decided to wear this dress again. But honestly, it wasn't just the dress, which of course is obnoxious, as I said, but the whole appearance was really strange. In fact, my mom, who I would say oftentimes is my voice of reason, she comes in and she goes, Brittany, do you really want to say that? Brittany, think about that. She calls me and she goes, what is up with her? Like, I'm beginning to really think she has mental health issues, basically. And it's hard to deny that, although I will say the video is not quite as bad as the pictures, but it's still weird looking. The way she's clutching to her friend, I'm like, is your friend your new husband? It's just simply strange. And then her comments on Children's Hospital itself were just bizarre. were just absolutely bizarre. And I'm beginning to wonder how many of your friends have kids getting treatment from Children's Hospital? Because it sounded like almost all her friends are. I have a theory on that too, which I'm sad to share, but I think that's probably what's happening. But this whole thing again is just strange. And here's why it's strange. Meghan really has no business being at this gala. She's gone and done an event for the hospital before. So maybe she's trying to angle some sort of patronage or something. But the problem is that she doesn't look royal. And this whole event sort of proves why Meghan Markle never worked as a royal. It's not because of her skin color. It's not because she's an American. It's not anything about that. It's just that I don't even think she has the class to be a royal, to be quite honest. I don't think she has the tact. I don't think she has the grace, the elegance to actually be royalty. And yes, grace and elegance is something maybe you're born with or maybe you're not. But I think Meghan Markle, because her whole life has been sort of consumed by this desperation that she's had, sort of driven by her narcissism and everything, to be famous, to be rich, to be a big player in Hollywood and all these sorts of things, that she has failed to do the one thing that I think would actually make Hollywood take her seriously in some ways, which is actually be royalty. She doesn't look like royalty. She doesn't act like royalty. She acts still like a desperate D-list actress. Her friend, who maybe even is as desperate as she is, looked dignified, looked regal when compared to Meghan Markle. Like, it was really insane. Meghan did this even little juvenile little thing, and it's just like it just didn't even work. And because of that, Meghan is just not going to be taken seriously in the Hollywood entertainment industry. She's just not. As time goes on and on and on, and Harry and Meghan failed to produce anything worthwhile, Hollywood is looking the other way. They're looking for their next new big thing, and it's not Harry and Meghan. And I think her whole devolution is sort of surrounded by the fact that it's not going to be her. Her dreams are not going to be fulfilled. She's not going to get her wish. She is just going to be, although she is famous now, she is fairly rich, much richer than she was pre Harry. The Hollywood industry has sort of turned its back on her. And she does have her friends, she does have her connections, and Hollywood will be sort of, let's say, graceful to her, but they won't go out of their way for her. And she's desperately trying to generate this, I guess, buzz, you could say. But the problem is that the buzz isn't going well. And Meghan Markle is completely overexposed. And she's also really desperate to change the image of herself as an alleged bully. So let's go in and look at some of this because this is fascinating, guys. Because don't be like Meghan. All right, guys. So let's take a look at the pictures. These are in no particular order. I just went through in Getty Images and grabbed all these because this picture, and this is good that we're starting off on this one. This one looks strange. It looks bizarre. Meghan looks like the side character, and Kelly, I think, actually looks very elegant here. If I was remiss, I would think she is the royal and Meghan is the desperate D-list celebrity, which Meghan is. But you see throughout these whole things, Kelly has a sense of decorum. She has this air about her, and I don't really know much about her except for the fact she's a friend with Meghan. She lost one of her children, died, and so that is obviously terrible and tragic. But you look at her and you see this sort of elegance here, whereas Meghan just looks simply bizarre. And here's another picture where Kelly, I think, is actually posing quite well here. And Meghan looks strange, standing straight up, grasping her friend's hand toward her crotch. It is just weird. I don't know if I've ever seen any royal do that, and I can't think of any royal who would do something like that. It's so weird. It's so weird. And she kind of looks, somebody said drowned rat, and she kind of looks like that. The hair is just awful because it's not like elegantly, like this looks elegant. This just looks messy. This just looks messy. If you're at a beach event, I kind of understand that. But if you're on a sort of red carpet thing, what you don't want to look like is a hot mess. And that's kind of what she looks like. And not even a hot mess, just a mess. So here's Meghan, trying to strut her stuff, showing off how hideously ugly this dress is. And again, guys, I will have a whole fashion video going over. Yes, that bust line looks awful. Somebody said it looks like inverted nipples, which it kind of does. Not sure why you want inverted nipples in your dress. Kind of a weird thing. But then you've got this look as well. And again, Kelly comes across to me at least as looking so much more regal than Megan does. And she's wearing a much more appropriate dress for this event. I like this. This is sort of dreamy and everything. Megan, again, this is horrible. Horrible. Here she is posing with one of the guys, I think from the hospital or something. And then, not sure why Megan is doing this because Kelly almost looks like, okay, let's pose normally. And Megan's like, oh, I need your hand. I need your hand. It looks like they're 15 or something. Well, we get the 15-year-old look here before too long. This is them. They were trying to leave. So there's sort of an explanation for that, but it is really strange. The Meghan Markle trying to make this dress work. It doesn't work, Megan. It's awful. You should burn it. And here she is meeting with family. And this is noteworthy because she is wearing this to an event where children are present. And then she leans down at some point. And of course, the slit is in front, like it has been for a couple of her recent dresses. And so she's almost flashing the kid away. It's like, this is not how you act. And then this starts to devolve into a really strange thing. They're trying to walk away. Megan won't let go of her hand. Then she stands really awkwardly. There is a bit of that moment, but yeah, it's just not a good look. This looks so much better. I don't know why Megan didn't do that the whole time. It's kind of strange. It's kind of weird. And then she does the thing where she usually sometimes I think she's just licking her lips or something, but she ends up pushing her tongue out. And her teeth are so white at this point. I feel like you could see them from anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. So, yes, the strangeness is very, very real. There's just a lack of decorum. I cannot foresee any royal actually doing anything this silly. I mean, it just looks like silliness. It looks like silly juvenile behavior. And I cannot see Catherine, Crown Princess Victoria, Madeline, Mary, Letizia, Matilda, Matt Marit, anyone doing something that looks as ridiculous as what Meghan Markle is doing right here. This looks ridiculous. It looks absolutely insane. And this is a woman who's had obviously her life impacted by the health struggles of her child. So it makes more sense that maybe she's a bit more in focus here, but Meghan just, again, looks strange. And this insanity continues into the videos as well. So I got these videos from mostly Getty Images. So let's go ahead and take a look at the video of Meghan and her friend here, because this is where it got a little strange here. So we do have this right here. And so they pose very briefly for a second, which we saw.
Meghan right here. Meghan. And ladies together. Oh, one stop, one stop.
All the smiles in one way. There it is. Thank you. Aw.
I love how somebody goes, "Aw." I'm like, why? She looks so ridiculous. I mean, let's take a look at it again. It's like, well, they're like, stand right here. And Kelly's kind of doing the normal thing. And then Megan does the weird thing. That just looks weird. It looks strange. It looks so incredibly strange. And I can't foresee why anybody would do that. There's definitely an elegance to Kelly that Meghan is 100% missing. So let's go ahead and watch this one.
Ladies together. Oh, one stop.
And can we get all the smiles in one way? There it is. Thank you, cute. Oh.
I'm sure the photographers or guys are like, what are they doing? What are they doing? It looks so weird. And it does look weird. It looks odd. It looks so incredibly strange. And it looks like Meghan can't do the normal thing in the situation, which again is super bizarre. Then it got weird too when Meghan was supposed to pose with the CEO and they kind of directed her somewhere and she wanted to go another place. So let's watch this little clip here real quick. She's like, she was going to go over there. And then he went over that way. Kind of messed up her whole plan. Messed up her whole plan, guys. So not much to see there, but just a little bit of a disconnect between the two for sure. Then, of course, the interview. The interview. Oh, goodness. This, guys, is rather glorious in its bizarreness. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
Oh, my goodness. The work that they do at Children's Hospital LA is otherworldly. And
what does that mean? What does it mean that the work they do there is otherworldly? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. What is that? What is that? I don't know. I don't think she knows either, to be quite honest. but doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense.
I think from my standpoint as a mother,
Of course, she always has to get in there that she is a mother. And it makes sense somewhat in this situation, but I always feel like she claims, "Oh, I'm a mother, I'm a mother." And then it's like, "Well, why are you never with your kids? Nobody ever sees you with your kids. You're never spotted out alone basically with your kids." Now, there was actually an interesting incident and I meant to do like a whole video on this but might get pushed back of Harry and Meghan really trying to manipulate the media, you could say, and sometimes I mean the media is allowing themselves to be manipulated. But in this particular instance, apparently there are backgrid pictures of Meghan with Archie at the Godmother's bookshop, but he was completely cut out of the shot to such an extent that you can't even see him in some of the pictures. And it was reported, and then he was never reported as being there. And so I'm like, that no other celebrity gets that sort of treatment. Why does she get to be treated so special? And it was just such a strange thing because celebrities are photographed with their kids, but if their kids have not been, let's say, shown to the public before or something like that, they'll always blur the kid's face out. So why couldn't you blur Archie's face out? Why couldn't you even report that he was there? It was strange. Like it was days ago. Like, what does it matter? Again, the weirdness Harry and Meghan have around their children just comes across as not natural. And so because of that, people read into things too much. And I think they set themselves up for failure in so many ways.
no one wants to have to be in a position where you need to go to a place like this. But if you have to, the best place in the world you could go would be Children's Hospital LA. And I have close.
So I just want to point that out because that sounds like a campaign slogan or something. I'm like, so are they paying you to say that? Because that just sounds like really, really over the top, because it is a very good children's hospital. It is only 7th in the nation, though. Did have to look that up, but it just came across to me as very, very strange. I'm like, so are you sloganing for them or something? I don't get it.
Friends who still have their children there going through treatment, still have their children who still have their children there going through.
And then we have the really weird thing.
Close friends who still have their children there going through treatments, either from high school, close mom friends now that are having their children really have that experience, but the staff is incredible.
So let's discuss that because I don't know about you, but I'm around people with young children. I don't know a ton who have their children going to treatments all the time at the hospital. That's a little strange. Don't entirely buy that she has all these high school friends because these high school friends, as far as we're aware, have not existed until 5 seconds ago. She never talks about her high school friends. In fact, one of her high school friends, I think, dumped her after she dumped her husband. And so you look at all this, you go, what is happening? And I have a theory, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I did look it up. I would imagine if she's saying that, I would imagine at least some of the kids, if this is true, because it just statistically just doesn't seem entirely possible. But Children's LA does have a transgender unit. I would imagine that's what some of her friends' kids are getting treated for. I have no idea if that's true. It's just a theory. But it's the only thing that makes sense. Otherwise, you have like what? Rampant childhood diseases going through your friend group? I mean, I'd be really concerned about that. So it just doesn't make a ton of sense. But that is the only thing where I'm like, well, I think I know maybe what you're saying and not saying here. And not going anywhere with that, but it is something interesting to note to consider what might happen to Archie and Lilibet in the future, since that is sort of the group of people they are surrounded with. Just saying.
And the amount of work that they do for families that really could not afford this level of care is something that I think should never be overlooked. So I'm just grateful for everything they do. Happy to be here to support. Oh
well,
my goodness, the
then
work that
how did you support? How did she support? Did she give money? Because she was only there apparently like a good 5 seconds and then left. So this is an article from People magazine. It says, during the evening, Meghan took photos with a family whose kids are patients at the hospital and was spotted crouching down to take photos with the children as she talked to them. She also took a moment to chat with her father inside the rooftop event. It's interesting that she didn't talk to the mother. Anyways, it goes inside the rooftop event. Meghan was all smiles as she greeted and spoke to a group of nurses from the hospital, taking time to speak with them all, as well as taking selfies with them. The Duchess was later escorted out of the event by a side door by a staff member, though she chatted anyone who stopped her on her way out. So I guess we can guess that Meghan didn't stay for the dinner. She didn't stay for long. She stayed for her photo ops and then went home. And this is not what royals do. And this is not how royals behave. And Meghan Markle looks increasingly bad, I think, even in Hollywood, when other people surrounding her act more regal than she does. She doesn't know how to be royalty. And her pale imitation of it, I think, diminishes her in the eyes of the rest of the industry. And when she pulls strange behaviors like clutching her friend's hand and everything and making giggly faces like she's 15 again and at the mall, it's just not a great look. Meghan Markle needs to figure out the difference between what she is trying to be and what she is. Right now, she's a celebrity who happens to have a title. And if she wants to be, I think, treated differently by the industry, she needs to start acting like royalty. And that might seem strange because I've told him, well, you got to pick between royalty and a celebrity. That's still true. You have to pick between the two because she demands to be treated like a royal, but doesn't act it. And I think sometimes people are like, well, we have had Prince William and Catherine here, and there was just a level of them, a mystery, a magic to them that you don't possess. And the more we see you, the less we think that. It doesn't help that she has an abysmal fashion sense, but it looks increasingly bad. And as they go on and on in Hollywood, and as they fail time and time again to have any sort of success, it looks increasingly bad for them. And I think Megan is really, really struggling with the loss of Netflix. Again, not confirmed or anything. This is my personal opinion, but I think they know Netflix is not going to renew and they know Netflix is not happy. Megan has American Riviera Orchard, but it's in, let's say, trademark hell or development hell. We don't know when it's coming out. She's probably going to miss the Christmas season. Harry wants to be a philanthropist. He wants to spend more time away from his family, seemingly. And that means more time away from her. Her world is kind of devolving. And she almost looks like it, really, that she's kind of devolving from where she was even in 2021. And that comes from making a series of bad decisions, both personally and professionally. They've made a lot of bad choices, to be honest. They've made a lot of them. They've made a lot of them. And because of that, they're having to deal with the consequences of that now. And they had a great window to make a really big impact on Hollywood, and they squandered it, and Hollywood's moved on. So Megan has to figure out what to do now. And I'm sorry, but making a splashy appearance on a red carpet for a Los Angeles Children's Hospital is not going to help your public reputation. And she is also reeling again from being accused of being a bully, and her staff members are leaving, and she just looks increasingly bad. And I don't think she can handle it well because I don't think she handles things well when things are not in her control. And as Harry gets more and more out of her control, as her children get older and older and want to make their own decisions, Megan will lose that control that I think personally that she craves. And we're seeing the reality of her life setting in for her, that she made this decision and forced, and I would argue forced, by saying, Harry, either I'll leave you or our marriage is doomed or we're going to be like in actual physical danger or something if we stay in the UK, forcing him basically to choose between her and his family. He chose her. They moved to Los Angeles. Now, while that's not a terrible decision to make as a couple, I don't think it was made in good faith by Meghan's part, and it's led to disaster. And Harry is pumping the brakes going, wait, you promised me this whole grand vision and it's dead. So what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to make money here. We can't make money. And so everything's kind of sort of falling apart. And so she's desperate to try to figure out something that works. And this is not going to be it. This is not going to be it. She needs to figure out how to be royalty. And the only way to do that is probably to go back to the UK. And she doesn't want to do that. And because of that, she'll be in this weird thing where nobody takes her seriously because, to be frank, she doesn't even put up a serious persona. You can't take her seriously. She's not a serious person. She behaves like a juvenile. She can come across as manic. She almost comes across as somebody who's struggling with a mental health issue or something like that. Again, that's something somebody else shared with me. I hear it sometimes in the comments too. I'm not sure if I totally go with that beyond her, perhaps in my thoughts of being a narcissist, but she really has, I think, taken what could have been a fabulous opportunity and squandered it. And Hollywood is like, well, we've seen what you have to offer. It's not much. And they're walking away. And the danger you have to think is that as things continue to devolve, Meghan Markle will just get worse. We'll see more crazy and outrageous stunts because she's desperate to keep herself out there and she's desperate for those accolades and that attention. She loved it when people were going, Meghan, turn this way, turn that way. She loved every second of it. But now things are going to start turning against her. And I don't think she necessarily is going to handle that particularly well. And I don't think she's going to handle the dissolution of her Hollywood dreams very well either. So guys, let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you think of Meghan's really strange appearance at the Children's Hospital event. I'd love to get your thoughts, and we'll of course have a fashion video coming about it because we must discuss the fashion and how royals are supposed to look at galas, and it's not like that. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I shall see you soon. Bye.